your exam is around the corner and you just have a few days left. So right now, I'm going to be sharing tips that can help you to maximize those few days left, what you have to expect in the exam and the things that you should take to your exam center. I'm going to be talking about everything now.
In this video, I interviewed 3 scholars who will be sharing with us many things people don't tell you about UI POST-UTME and how you can maximize the time you have left, even if you think you are not prepared enough. We'll be sharing with you what you can do now on the day of your exam and tips for answering questions in your exam hall. Now, let's get straight into the video.
Hi everyone, I'm Abba Precious, a first-year medical student of the prestigious University of Ibadan, and I scored 295 in my UTME and 89 over 100 in my POST-UTME. How is UI POST-UTME structured? UI POST-UTME consists of 100 questions, and you have to answer those 100 questions in 90 minutes. So you don't have to spend 1 minute on a question. So you need to be very, very fast. Do you get? And your calculation questions, mathematics and physics, please don't spend too much time on them. If you know you don't know a question, just skip it and go back to it. Okay? And the structure, the questions contains Roman numerals. Okay? Like, I think about 90 to 80% were Roman numerals. Just few were just normal questions. Like, literally all of them will be Roman numerals. Even my English contained Roman numerals questions. So please be prepared so it doesn't catch you off guard. And for your challenging subjects, how will you go about them when you have just few days left? You spend more time on them. For me, my challenging subjects were physics and English. They were always responsible for my low scores whenever I saw past questions. So what do? I make sure I spend more time on them. My English, I can remember I mastered in words from Jam Remix. So you should spend more time on those weak areas so they don't bring you down. At this point, you should be focusing more on IU topics. I would love to share IU topics, but the thing is, UI can change their structure. Okay, the question I saw in my POST-UTME might be different from the question you see in your POST-UTME. So I don't want to specify this particular topics rather, and then you don't end up meeting it in your exam. So just pray for God's direction. But let me still share what I met in my exam. For my physics, I met a lot of theoretical questions. So please, you need to understand your topics in physics, because they'll try to like twist some things and then ask you theoretically, so you need to understand it. And for my chemistry, I know I saw stoichiometry, water and air. And for biology was just random. Biology was random. And for my English, there were antonyms and synonyms, there were Roman numerals. And the compression, I really can't recall, but for my English, I know I met antonyms and synonyms. So just be prepared that there will be Roman numerals. And it's not something to be scared or be afraid. Okay, it's something you know, it's something that is easy. Exam day tips. Now you've read, you've studied hard, you've prepared, and now it's the exam day. The first tip you need to know is to get there early. Okay, I remember my exam date we're allowed to enter even before the assigned time for the exam. So please get there early so that you can settle down and be ready for your exam. The second tip is you should take your exam slip, your POST-UTME slip. Please don't forget to pick it, and you can pick a pen. For those that will be needing calculations, you can take your pen. And lastly, it is normal for you to feel anxious. It is normal for you to have doubtful thoughts. It is normal for you to feel you are not prepared enough. I just want to tell you, you can do this. Okay, you can smash this exam. You can get that desired score. You can get that desired course. Okay. And please take your time with your questions. The questions might look simple, they might look easy, but please analyze the questions. There might be some traps in it. And the Roman numerals, I know it might be so scary, oh God, how will it be? But there are questions that you can answer. Like I said, please just take your time to analyze them and just trust the process, trust your preparation, and trust that God will always help you out. Okay? And yeah, for those that will be having doubtful thoughts or be doubting themselves because of their UTME score, remember I had 295 and I was still able to score 89 over 100 in my POST-UTME. Okay? And I had 2 friends too that had 301 and 307, and they were able to score 1991. So please, you can also do this. You can regardless of your UTME score, you can always do well with your POST-UTME. Don't let your UTME score dictate how you do well with your POST-UTME. You can do well in your POST-UTME and not do well in your UTME. You can do well in your UTME and not do well in your POST-UTME. You can even do well in both. So please, just make sure you go with the mindset that you can do it and you are going to do it. Okay? And I wish you the best in your exam. Have confidence, trust the process, and believe in yourself. You can do this. I'm rooting for you.
As at the time of the production of this video, University of Ibadan's POST-UTME is in about a week from now. And as an aspirant, you probably know by now that over 10,000 people are competing for the same position that you are competing for. And what is that? Is space on the admission list. As an aspirant, you don't want to spend this crucial time doing things that will yield little or no result. I wrote UI POST-UTME February 21st, 2023, which was actually meant to be in the year 2022. I had 83 over 100 in the POST-UTME, 324 over 400 in my UTME, which gave me an aggregate of 82% that eventually secured me UI medicine. Personally, there's some things I wish I had known about UI POST-UTME earlier on, and because I'm a teacher, many of my students have been asking me a lot of questions pertaining to UI POST-UTME, and that's the reason why I'm making a video on it. Before I move on, if you're not a University of Ibadan aspirant, but you know someone who is writing this UI POST-UTME, please kindly share the link of this video to them. It will be really helpful to them. And also kindly like this video. They're helping me to reach a larger audience of people that really need this video. Thank you.
My name is Caleb Bankole. I'm an underlevel student of the University of Ibadan. I'm studying medicine and surgery. I had 322 in my UTME and I had 93 over 100 in UI POST-UTME. I'm here to tell you about UI POST-UTME and how you can score high. UI POST-UTME comprises of 100 questions, 4 subjects, 25 questions from each of the 4 subjects, making 100 questions. You have 90 minutes to answer the 100 questions. It's important that you manage your time, and at the back of your mind, you should know that you have to score high. How does UI calculate your aggregate? Your UTME score is divided by 8 and your POST-UTME score is divided by 2. For example, I had 322 as my UTME score. 322 divided by 8 plus 93, which was my POST-UTME score, divided by 2, and then my aggregate score was 86.75. You can see my IUTME POST-UTME score went long way. So it is important that you score high. If your UTME score is not high enough, make your POST-UTME score very high. It's going to help you. If your UTME score was high, it's still important that you score high in your POST-UTME. The chance to be high of getting admitted into the course of your choice. It is important that you manage your time. You have 90 minutes to solve 100 questions. Time management is important. How can you do this? Solve past questions before the exam. I know you have little time left. In this little time left, you can still do so much. So a few weeks to your exam, solve as many questions as you can solve. UI does not release the past question, so but past questions have been compiled by some good people who have done the exam before. You can get it. Just ask the right person. Exam day tip: you should know that you are traveling down to Ibadan to do your exam, so you have to come down to University of Ibadan to sit your exam. On the day of exam, you will not be allowed to take in any writing material. You're only going in with your exam slip printout and a pencil. No calculator is allowed. You'll be given an on-screen calculator. So come prepared and remember the God factor. Remember, it is important that you score high in your exam. Personally, I solved the past question and I studied, and so I can't wait to see you in the University of Ibadan studying your dream course. To be magical.
Alright, so before we conclude this video, there are some things I would like to share with you guys that I think you should really note about UI POST-UTME. Number 1 is the timing. UI POST-UTME is 90 minutes and you have just 90 minutes to answer 100 questions. That means you can't spend 1 minute on each question. So that means you have to increase your speed level. And some of you have not been taking time simulated or time based test of recent, and now's the time you want to start doing that. Now's the time you want to better your speed, and the way in which you can achieve that is by actually setting a timer, taking 25 questions per subject you are offering and compiling into 100 questions and setting a timer for yourself that you're going to do these 100 questions in in 90 minutes and see how many you are able to do in 90 minutes. Do as many as possible as you can, and I sincerely believe that by doing this it will help you to increase your confidence and increase your speed. And also UI POST-UTME is CBT like UTME, so the same knowledge you use in operating your system in UTME is the same knowledge you need now. Or if you are not confident enough, you can actually learn some basic computing skills like how to handle a mouse, how to use a keyboard, or how to find your way through some computer stuff. On the day of the exam, if you are confused about anything or you think you don't understand how to operate a certain thing, you can actually ask the officials on site. I'm very sure they'll be very glad to hear you and answer you. Alright, and also UI POST-UTME is O level. All of you A level guys that do like to answer Cambridge questions and all these 100 level questions, this is not the time to start solving 100 level questions or Cambridge questions or A level questions. UI POST-UTME is strictly O level, and it's time to go back to your O level past questions. It's time to go back to your UI POST-UTME past questions and study them diligently. Now is not the time to start reading zoology textbooks or advanced level physics or mathematics textbooks. They are basically going to ask you from the basics, so take note of that. I would like to give you a breakdown of how the Roman numeral questions will look like. The Roman numeral questions are, some people say they are hard, but I believe you can actually use it to your advantage. So for example, take a look at this question. Let's say a question asks which of the following is a rainbow, or which of the following are rainbow colors, and you have I to be red, II says burgundy, III says green, and Ivy says yellow. You know that rainbow colors are Roy gift: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet, and anyone that is not part of this is not a rainbow color. So let's say option A says I and II, option B says I, and III, option C says I to Ivy, and option D says none of the above. The answer is actually none of the above, because II, which is burgundy, is in option A, B, and C, and because burgundy is not part of the rainbow colors, it's nullifies option A, B, and C and makes option D, which is none of the above, the correct answer. So this is how you can actually use Roman numeral questions to your advantage. Alright, we have come to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching to this extent. Don't forget what we discussed. Completely eradicate fear and try to solve as many past questions as possible before your exam date. And if this video helped you, I really like you to come back and comment on how this video was very helpful to you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.